This piece of drama is about art theft. I feel like art theft happens so often in the VTuber space because VTubers are like art. Your model itself is art. So that's why art theft is more prevalent in the VTuber space, just because there is more art circulating. So this tweet was put up by Miyoshi Nia. Attention all artists and VTubers. Chubby Moon is an art thief who traces and then sells it and passes off as her own. I regret trying to be this girl's friend and commissioning art of the two of us together. For all proof, see thread. And their account doesn't exist anymore. The first tweet says, I called her for tracing this new model and ripping off the outfit design of my friend's model. This is a tweet from Chubby Moon, a screenshot. Okay, so I don't know why people want drama so bad, but I took down the sketch because apparently some people think I've copied over somebody else's design or traced over their model. For evidence, this is the model my mama made me and the sketch I just made over top. Wait, I need a little bit more context over this one, but did she just like draw over her model's art? Okay, so I'm not a VTuber, so you guys are gonna have to clarify this for me. Is it like okay in the VTuber space to draw over your own model? You have to get permission, but arguably yes. Okay, fish. Or it depends on whether you bought the rights or not. Okay, so if you have permission or you bought the commercial rights for the model, then you can do that. Okay, so we don't know whether Chubby has the commercial rights of this or not. If they did draw over their model, if they got the commercial rights or permission, then okay, that's okay. Oh, wow, guys. So look at this. This is a little sus. So we have this photo on the right and this photo on the left. The right one is like somebody else's art. This one is Chubby's art. And then if you overlap them together, it overlaps perfectly. Most of the body, that is. Like the hair is slightly different, but like the mouth with the fangs, the size of the eyes. So this is the second one. On the right here, we have somebody else's art. On the left, we have Chubby's art. And then, oh, this is it overlapping. For a fashion brand, they just need to change a design by 3% to be original and new. I don't think it applies the same to art. I think the thing is, for fashion, there's some things you can't change. Like a t-shirt is a t-shirt. How much can you change for a shirt, you know? So I think the 3% rule makes sense for fashion. I think for art, it doesn't. Because for art, like, you get a blank canvas to work with. You don't have like the restrictions of like pants needs to have like 2 legs, you know, and like a waistband. There are restrictions in clothing that doesn't apply for artwork, because artwork, you do get a blank canvas to work with. I think for art, you need to change at least like 50% minimum. And that 50% cannot be core elements. They changed 50%, yes, but like the entire body itself is the same. The legs here, the body, the shape, the position of the eyes, everything. Like they trace the base of the model. So I would say like you need to use that entirely new base too. Wow, this is like 1-to-1 traced. They DM the artist about the trace work. This is again the overlapping of Chubby's art versus the original artist. Hi, one of your artworks came across my For You page and was similar to one of my acquaintances, and comparing theirs to yours, I felt like perhaps they traced your art, but I can't be sure because I'm not even sure it's a trend or something, but I tried to line it up and the face kinds of lines up and I'm only suspecting it. The artist said, hello, thank you for bringing this up to me. Yes, this was traced for sure, haha, since there are no ongoing trend like that. Miyoshi says, okay, thank you. I plan on having my friends talk to the other for potential confrontation. The idea and pose are the result from me and the client brainstorming. And there's more. Here's another example. The left is somebody else's art and the right is Chubby's like redraw of it. And then the middle is the art overlapping. The boba is the same. You can't even see any differentiation with the boba and the hands because it's literally a 1-to-1 overlap. And the face is exactly the same too. Wow. And here's the final one. Over here on the right, we have somebody else's art. On the left, we have Chubby's art. And again, it overlaps like 1-to-1. No, fish, that's the worst part. You can clearly tell that Chubby actually has art talent, right? They genuinely have art talent. Why do you desperately need to reference, not even reference, like trace over somebody else's art, which I don't understand. And you can't make an excuse like this because there are so many resources. You can use 3D models to draw over. You can go and like use humans, you know, actual people, take photos of them, photo bash it together, and then like, I don't know, work from there and use that as references, right? I still don't recommend tracing over actual people's bodies either, but like photo bashing it and stuff like that. That's really true too, Cud. Like, is the cat stolen too? Because this cat is a little bit too detailed for somebody who steals art like this. Tracing could help with your practice, but don't claim it as your own. Exactly. I'm gonna say, have I traced people's art? Yeah. Do I ever show it? No. I do it to study other people's artwork because if you draw over somebody else's artwork, you can kind of learn how they draw. You can learn like, oh, this is how like they draw like their jawline. This is how they do facial proportions. It's like studying their artwork essentially. It's actually like a technique artists do where they will repaint famous artists' paintings to learn their technique, their brushstrokes. But you never claim that as their own, I would say. I think drawing over people's art to study is fine, personally. I've known people that are painters specifically and they will repaint like Michelangelo Marshmallow's art to try to learn how he draws, like how he paints, to try to mimic his brushstrokes. But you don't ever show that to the public. When you do art studies, you don't ever post the art studies you do, because that's somebody else's artwork. It's not yours. Like the ideas and everything is not original to you. That's the term, folksy, master studies, essentially, where you're learning off of somebody else's artwork that is more skilled than you. But again, you don't post it, you don't claim it as yours. Or if you do post it, it's like I studied insert artist here's art. And then even then, if you do post it, it shouldn't be like a complete trace redraw. It should be like a inspired, like I studied Ross Draw's art, and then after a week, this is kind of like what I learned, you know, and you make your own piece, and then you live and you move on and stop taking his style. So Miyoshi follows up with, I'd like to add that I did message her privately about the trace art, and that she then made a public post and blocked me. Additionally, I do know of more artwork that was traced, but was asked to not share as the person who commissioned them feels embarrassed they got scammed. That's so sad too, because they did take commissions. So people were unknowingly paying for art theft. And again, I never think it's the fault of the person who commissioned, because they didn't know. They thought they were getting original artwork. While they deleted their account, they're literally going to come back with another name, like you guys said, which is honestly really sad. But this happens a lot too in the artist and VTuber space. It's just really common and it's so annoying. Also, on a side note, if you have this much time to trace people's art, you have time to go learn how to draw yourself and like learn how to draw bases and poses properly, which is what I don't understand. Like, why you're spending all your free time stealing art then?